All right, so yesterday we talked about Larry Ogunjobi, Quan Alexander, two guys who could be Jets soon and would be a good fit on this roster. And it got me thinking, what other positions do we need to upgrade and what other names would be a good fit on this team to round out some depth before we head into training camp? And the first place I'm starting is linebacker. To me, it's still the biggest hole on this roster as it currently sits. And if we miss out on Quan Alexander, a good backup plan could be Anthony Hitchens, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, basically a less talented version of Quan Alexander we're getting here. The 30-year-old is 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. 80 tackles last year, did record an interception. He's been a starter, started at least 14 games in each of the last 4 seasons for Kansas City. Seemed to lose a step last year, getting a little older. Kansas City's not bringing him back, but I think he could compete with Quincy Williams for the starting job in the 4-2-5 base. Most likely he's Quincy's backup and would be the third linebacker we roll out there when we do go 4-3. Next up, I'm looking at A.J. Klein, formerly of the Buffalo Bills. The 30-year-old is 6'1", 240 pounds. Another guy with a lot of starting experience. Started 80 games in his career before transitioning to a primary backup role the last 2 seasons in Buffalo. Can rush the passer a bit. 15 and a half sacks in his career. I think he would be the ideal backup for C.J. Mosley. We don't have one of those on this roster. Why? Because he played that exact role last year. He was a backup middle linebacker for the Bills who run a ton of 4-2-5 just like the Jets do. He filled in admirably for Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano when they were out. And look, he's not a great athlete. He's got short arms, but he's a solid pro. He's going to know his assignment. He's going to communicate well and be a solid backup if our captain does go down for an extended period of time. Now, the next spot I'm looking is swing tackle. I like Max Mitchell. I think he could be a really solid swing tackle in 2023, but I'm going to give him a hot second to develop, and I want somebody to come in and be an upgrade over McDermott and Chuma Adoga. They ain't it. We can do better. Riley Reef, he's better. Formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals. Longtime Viking and Detroit Lion 2. Guy's been around the block. 33 years old, 6'5", 315 pounds. 139 starts in his career. Most of them at left tackle. He's played some right tackle too. Last year, 12 starts with the Bengals, allowed 4 sacks, committed 1 penalty. And it's definitely worth floating a 1-year offer out to Riley Reef to be our primary swing tackle as a 1-year stopgap while we let Max Mitchell develop. Another guy I'm looking at the offensive line, another Buffalo Bill, Darrell Williams. The 29-year-old is 6'6", 330 pounds. Played a bunch of tackle for Buffalo. They kicked him inside the guard last year. Didn't work out great. He committed 6 penalties and had 4 sacks allowed, but he's durable, rock solid. Started 37 consecutive games for the Bills, and he can play 4 different spots on the offensive line. A nice depth piece for sure. Sticking with the trenches, but on the other side of the ball. We talked about Ogunjobi yesterday. I like him. Pass rushing ability. I'm here for it. But I still think the Jets could use a run-stuffing defensive tackle. I know our base defense doesn't call for that, but we still could use a rotational, prototypical nosed tackle type player to come in situationally. The last 2 years, we've called on Nathan Shepard to do that. Nathan Shepard has played more than 30% of the snaps on this team the last 2 years, and I'm kind of done with that. We can do better. Eddie Goldman, he's better. Formerly of the Chicago Bears. The 27-year-old is 6'3", 335 pounds. The stats production don't jump out at you. He's a 2-gapper. He's a people eater. And 13 sacks, though, in his career. Not bad. Started 10 games for Chicago last year. And he can come in, goal line, third down, short yardage, and be a rotational run stuffer, upgrade over Nathan Shepard. Now, the next one, you're going to think I'm crazy, but Steve McClendon, a former Jet, now 36 years old, most recently with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 6'3", 315 pounds, still playing some ball, played 1/3 of the snaps last year in Tampa, and he had the highest run grade. He would have had the highest run grade of any Jet not named John Franklin Myers if he was with the team last year. And you tell me this, it's 3rd and goal. From the 2, we got to get a stop. Would you rather roll out Nathan Shepard or a 36-year-old Steve McClendon? I'm rolling with Steve all day. Maybe he wants to come back on a cheap 1-year deal, some nostalgia, rep the green and white again. And as we know, Steve's an absolute home run in the locker room. Okay, the last position I'm looking at is safety. The market's pretty thin, so I only have one name here, and that's Jaquiski Tart, San Francisco 49er. 30 years old, 6'1", 215 pounds. Another guy, a lot of starting experience, 64 starts under his belt, a lot of them under current Jets head coach Robert Saleh. And I'm not freaking out at safety as much as most Jets fans, mostly because I'm high on Jason Pinnock. I'm comfortable with Pinnock and Joyner competing for the free safety position right next to a rock-solid Jordan Whitehead. But if Jordan Whitehead goes down, oh man, where do we go from there? Well, maybe we go with Jaquiski Tart. a good strong safety, a bigger body, doesn't have the best ball skills, but he's a sure tackler. And I think that he could fill in admirably if new free agent signing Jordan Whitehead does go down. Let me know in the comments below, what position do the Jets need to address most? Any names I missed? Thank you for watching. All gas, no break.